Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and taking the time on a busy Thursday afternoon here at the end of March. Just a few things I'll mention. We are celebrating our 50th anniversary here at Levinson and Associates, founded in 1972. Obviously, we're in 2022 now, so 50 strong years of supporting and servicing our agents. My hat goes off to all of you because we would never be in this spot without each and every agent that's out there in the field. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We're going to celebrate live in person with you at the expo next week. So hopefully you're there. We have literally, I just checked, over 300 agents RSVP'd for the event next Friday. So very, very exciting stuff. We're going to have a bunch of surprises in store for you. And then, of course, all the other details. In fact, we have a slide on it that I'm going to mention. So even if it's last minute and you're thinking about driving down or flying down, whatever the case is, you still have just over a week to make those plans, and it's free for all Levinson agents. Today also happens to be Kerry, my father's birthday, our founder. So when you get a chance, shoot him a happy birthday email. I know he'd love to hear from you. Or if you're going to be at the expo, shake his hand in person, or give him a high five or air hug, whatever you want to call it. With this pandemic going on, whatever you feel is creative, just wish him a happy birthday. Okay, now let's switch gears here and talk about today's presentation, right? I want to make sure we maximize every minute spent with you for the next 55 minutes or so. It's very important out there. So you have to understand, and I know we have agents, all different ages from all over the country, and, some focus on third bedroom term sales or final expense, and we have some certified financial planners that don't look at a case unless it's under $100,000 of target premium. So when you're talking about indexed universal life, okay, this should cater to everyone, okay? If you're an agent out there in the field, you're licensed to sell life insurance, okay, which all of you are. You need to know enough to be dangerous when it comes to IUL. Why? Because IUL is such a hot concept. It's a hot topic, and the IUL sales statistics have gone up the last 2 years about 15 to 23% in total sales. So what does that tell you? It tells you that your consumers, your prospects, right, they're hearing about this, okay? They're seeing this online. They're seeing this in other agency ads. They're reading articles about why IUL is such a great idea for an investment tied into a life insurance policy or vehicle. So you have to know the basics because you don't want to be the agent, okay? And really, I mean this when I say it. If you're, let's say, a health agent and you also sell some term or final expense, you never want to be the agent that has the guy or girl, right, that's maybe your neighbor or in your networking group or whatever it is. It may be extended family, and they come to you and say, hey, Bill, I know you sell insurance. I want to talk about IUL, right? And you don't want to look at them and say, oh, actually, Missy, I really have never sold an IUL before, and I have to refer you to another agent. Okay, that's literally the worst thing you can do, especially when you have all of the support that Levinson has for you to access, okay, and the live marketers that are here on the phone, or if you need a webinar set up, a custom private training, we can do that for you as well. So it would just be a shame to walk away from a potential sale, especially knowing these are the larger cases. Okay, you're talking on average $15,000 to $32,000 of annual premium. Okay, the commissions on that. So, I mean, you could work for 6 months, okay, or even 3 to 4 months, whatever, a quarter, of the year, let's say, right, and not make the kind of commissions that you're going to make on one IUL sale. So it kills me when I hear these stories that an agent referred the business outside. Okay, because obviously you're giving up all control, and who knows what that person's going to cross sell to them or cross solicit to your client, right? It goes on and on. So, anyway, it's our job to make sure that you have all of the best tools, training, lead programs, marketing resources, software, all of the above. And that's exactly what we have put together for you. Okay, so there's no more excuses, and it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. Okay, even if you're an IUL veteran, okay, things are moving and changing so fast. Okay, you might have been a veteran yesterday, but today you're going to learn something new, and I can promise you that. Okay, because Alec, our guest speaker, he's going to talk about some new upcoming changes, okay, and some new strategies that I can assure you have not heard before. Okay, and this tees up an IUL sale perfectly. What does that mean? You can go revisit your book of business or clients to talk about some of these changes and open new doors. Okay, then now when you're talking about IUL, right, you're saying to yourself, well, Bill, I want to sell more of this IUL. I want to learn more. Great. Okay, it becomes a little tricky if you're not that familiar with the concept and looking at a 23-page illustration and explaining this to a consumer. So that's where Stonewood comes in. So, and I said this in the marketing, and I'm going to say it again. They have the #1 IUL sales presentation software system available today on the planet. Okay, #1 on this planet. There's nothing else that comes close. Okay, and the main reason why, this will explain all the benefits of IUL to a consumer in layman's terms, so they understand it, so they get it, so they buy in to the concept, okay? And it's going to help you explain the sale perfectly, okay? So that is the purpose of Stonewood system. That's the purpose of today's training. I want to make sure all of our agents get their arms around this concept, okay? And even if you say, hey, Bill, I have a client, I'm going to see next week, and this sounds great. I don't want to become a member yet. I want to first see how the program works. We can run the sample presentation for you at no charge. As long as you're an active Levinson agent, okay, we can do this for you. And obviously the point is to get you comfortable. You make the sale, right? And then hopefully you become a member, which, by the way, Levinson, because of the number of agents we have and the relationship we have with Stonewood, you're going to save about 20 to 25% off their retail pricing. Okay, we're talking about pricing that starts at $79 a month. Okay, so it's very inexpensive. And once you start writing, okay, if you're writing at least $2,000 of paid annual premium per month, we pay for your platform. So it's 100% free. Okay, so there's many ways to utilize this. It's not like we're sitting on this webinar trying to sell you a great package and, you pay $100 a month and, you basically get nothing and then they keep charging your credit card. That's not what this is about. Okay, this is about helping our agents sell more IUL, right? Supplementing your income, and most important, helping these families. Okay, it's a win-win-win across the board, and that's what this software does. And you don't have to take a penny out of your pocket. If you want to try this out, again, just call any one of our marketers, and we can run the sample illustration or presentation for you to get you comfortable. And then if you love the concept, you want to do the boot camp and the private training, we even have IUL prospecting books that agents just hand out, you can participate in the membership as well. Okay, so there's a few different levels you can still participate on. You don't have to spend a fortune and give us your credit card number. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so a couple other things I want to mention real fast. We have a new mailer program that generates about 1.5% to 2% return on IUL and annuity leads. So that we're going to talk about that in a few more minutes here. We're going to talk about the expo. We're going to talk about a new podcast episode that I launched last week that was one of my favorites, talking about a CFP that sells a ton of IUL. Okay, Jason, our guest speaker on the podcast, is exactly that. Okay, so he's got some great stories to share. When it comes to IUL, we also think about premium finance, right? So we have two 2 different vendors we work with and a handful of carriers that love and welcome the business. Okay, so we have you covered literally on every single corner. We even have IUL now up to $3 million, no exam necessary. Okay, so some great bullets here. Let's move forward. I want to jump right in. And by the way, what we're going to do at the end, we're going to have our question of the day, and we're going to give away the new Fire 8 tablet. So the new Amazon Fire 8 tablet, we'll give that away at the end, and we're going to send you a Stonewood IUL prospecting book to the winner. So make sure you're on till the end, you're paying attention, because I'm going to ask a question that's in the slides we're going over today. Okay, so as long as you answer first, I'll announce your name. Boom, you win the Fire 8 tablet and the IUL prospecting book. Okay, so here we are back with the Levinson Annual Agent Expo. I say back because it's been almost 3 years now because of the pandemic. And let me tell you, we cannot wait to see you all. We can't wait to get back up on stage. We can't wait to have a day full of sales strategies from our core companies and our keynote speaker, Reid. It's going to be an unbelievable expo, best one to date, and I'm on record right now saying that. I promise you, this will be the best expo Levinson has ever had. And we have over 300 agents that RSVP'd already. So we have never had that number of attendees. So people are itching to get out of the house, to learn, to make sure that they have a great 2022. And I promise you, if you're there, you'll thank me after. You will love this day full of networking and sales ideas. Okay, so just real quick, Reid, yes, she's our keynote speaker. She's also a best-selling author of her book, Distribution Solution. And the reason why I want to just focus on that for a second is because I spoke about this in the beginning. And what I said is, if you're not that comfortable with selling IUL, maybe you never sold an IUL before, okay? And maybe it's a little challenging for you to get your arms wrapped around this. So Reid works with you, the agent, and your client. If you have a guy, you have a girl, that would be perfect for this, okay? But maybe you're a little intimidated by the IUL sale and you're not comfortable talking about tax-saving strategies, etc. So Mary will jump in, set up the meeting with you and the client. You'll be on the webinar or the call and do all of this selling for you, all of the heavy lifting for you, okay? And she uses an IUL sales strategy in this distribution solution concept. So it's just awesome because you get the majority of the commission, okay? And by the way, her average case size is over $100,000 of target premium. She uses a whole life for the more conservative client, and then she has an IUL with living benefits for the more aggressive, let's say, younger professional client. So 2 great options, and you're going to love her keynote speech. We're giving away her book to everybody that attends the expo, so you'll get a copy, and you'll get to meet her, and if you want her signature on the book, we can set that up as well. But again, do not miss. It's next Friday, if you want to write this down, April 8th, okay? And you must register now. We're going to send out a thank you email to every single agent on this webinar. We're also going to include all of the brochures and everything that we're touching on today. But most important, I really, truly hope to see you at the April 8th Levinson Expo next Friday. It's right around the corner, folks. And I promise it's going to change your year. And I don't care what level you're at in the industry. If you're brand new, you've been in this business 42 and a half years, you live in Naples, Florida, or Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or Lincoln, Nebraska, doesn't make a difference. You will walk away with nuggets, okay? And if not, come see me face to face. I'm going to be there, obviously, and I want to hear about it because I know it won't happen. Okay, let's move forward. We're getting a little background there. Okay, I think we're okay now. Okay, the Levinson Mobile 2.0 app is out, and I hope it's on your cell phone and laptop. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're an Apple iPhone user, Android user, it doesn't make a difference. The app works and is compatible on both versions. and it is amazing. First time ever in the life insurance brokerage space that there's been an app like this, as user-friendly and access to everything that you need to make a sale from A to Z, and even check on your cases. Check out the latest podcast episode we launched last week. Every single thing is at your fingertips, again, updated in real-time fashion. Now, we're doing a little contest. You love this Sound of the IUL Prospecting book. Very simple, okay? First of all, you must follow us to qualify. You must follow us and like our Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook page, okay, under Levinson and Associates. Post a screenshot of the app on your cell phone. Boom, you win. As long as you're licensed with Levinson, we send you the book, no charge on us. Okay, if you want to take a picture now, that's fine. We'll also include this in the thank you email that will be in your inbox before the day is up. Okay, let's keep moving here. So what we're going to do real fast, and again, we have a presentation today. I don't want to take away from Alec, but these are a few of the bullets, what's new here at Levinson. So if you're looking to come down to the expo and you need a hotel room, okay, we have discounted blocks available at, I think I'm actually pretty sure we have we have 3 hotels now, but the main hotel where the expo is sold out, but we have 2 on backup. So if you need a room, just let us know. We'll get you all set up. That's fine. A couple things I want to point out. Top left corner, Prosperity Life, who's also a sponsor at the expo. So with their 3 products, and by the way, they have a new virtually guaranteed issue term. That's awesome. But with their 3 products, you can get an additional 10% bonus on top of your typical commission, which, by the way, is higher than most companies. National Guardian Life Long-Term Care, $100 gift card. We have a Cabo, Mexico convention with LSW. That's going to be another great trip. SureBridge. So we're adding a new product on Insure Me Now Direct. We're launching it. We don't tell anybody this, so it's going to be our secret, but it's going to be launched at the expo next Friday. And then we're doing a 25 plus 50, $100 incentive with your first app on the platform with SureBridge. So hint, the new product on Insure Me Now Direct. Okay, I'm not going to say any more, but let's keep moving forward. Illinois Mutual, blue collar DI, there's no better place. $50 cash with your first app. Let's move to the center section there. Lincoln increasing the non-med limit to $2.5 million. Now, this is a big one. Kansas City Life. So when you're thinking about cashback term, okay, return of premium term insurance, there's not too many players left. Kansas City Life has this dialed in like no other, okay? The cashback term and the new longevity term, amazing niche products no one else has. Plus, you get the free scholarship with Kansas City Life, and they have a complete back office support system that's second to none. I hope you were on the webinar last week because we dove into that. If you weren't, we can send you out a replay or go to our YouTube channel. Okay, let's keep moving around here. This is pretty neat too for all agents out there. We have a co-branded resource section. So this is basically think of a marketing library, okay? And this is used for you all to market yourself, to brand yourself, to share your stories, right? On all social media platforms, through e-blasting, on your website, it's videos, it's e-blast templates, and we put your picture, your logo, your phone number, your website, your email address to make it look like you're this big shot agency or agent with a $10 million marketing budget. And meanwhile, all this stuff is free. You just tell us what you want, and boom, you're in. You'll have the custom branded marketing pieces within a week. That's simple. So take advantage of this stuff. We do all of it to help you because we're your back office, right? And obviously there's no charge for you to be appointed with Levinson. So this is free. So you got to leverage this stuff to be successful and grow your business this year. Okay? Everybody is on social media now, like it or not. So you might as well get on there, right? And have great content and drive people back to your website. So ultimately you will make a sale. Okay, let's keep moving along here. What I want to mention real fast before we jump into the presentation, this is our last slide, and then Alec's going to take the wheel. So real fast, these are our top IUL core carriers. And the reason why I wanted to show the spreadsheet real fast, there's 23 IUL companies that we highlight here, okay, that Levinson offers direct. Okay, you're not under 22 different layers in a pyramid type of model. No. Okay, you're direct with a company. And what's important is each carrier here has their own little niche. Okay, we don't have a Burger King, a McDonald's, and a BurgerFi all on the same street corner. Okay, each company has their own little niche. And as you can notice, you're going to see these red and green asterisks. So the red means that carrier. So if you sell one of that carrier's products, the client gets a 1-year scholarship to any of our 440 plus colleges across the country. No extra charge, no commission reduction for you. And it's very easy to self-enroll on our site. Okay, so if you want to note that down. And then if you look at the green asterisk, okay, remember how I was saying Stonewood is the #1 IUL software system on the planet? The reason why, it's very easy to use, easy to understand for consumer and agent, and most important, carrier compliant, okay? Carrier compliant. There's no other software program in the industry today that is 100% carrier compliant. That's huge because that means that these carriers with the green asterisk, they have looked at the system and they gave it the stamp of approval and they said, you know what? We'll attach our name to this because we approve it. Okay, and you know how difficult that can be. All right, so again, red asterisk means scholarship approved. Green asterisk means Stonewood compliant and approved. So very, very important. And we feel when it comes to selling IUL, there is not a better company or product than everything we have listed in front of you. And if there is, please send me an email and tell me, Bill, ABC IUL company has the best product. You can't come close. Okay, if it's that great, we'll take out a contract. I can promise you that. All right, let's move forward here. I want to jump into our feature presentation. Our VP at Stonewood, Mr. Alec Stout, is going to take the wheel. Alec, you there, buddy?
I am. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Let's see. Can you see my screen okay?
Yep, we can.
Perfect. Well, hey, Bill, thanks so much for the introduction. I think you've already done such an exceptional job introducing Stonewood. We appreciate the kind words. My name is Alex Stout. For everyone who doesn't know me, I'm the VP of Member Success here at Stonewood Financial. And I'm going to take just a few minutes of your time and talk about what we're doing with Levinson advisors and how we're helping them really transform and grow their practice and having their biggest years ever by introducing specific concepts and really leveraging IUL as the tool to do that with. So we really work through 3 ways here at Stonewood. Where we work with advisors on how we take a complex topic and what can be a complex concept in IUL. And as Bill mentioned, people that you might not feel comfortable or confident really talking through the strategy. Our goal at Stonewood is to take this complex strategy and make it simple and meaningful to the client and giving that in a way that can be delivered comfortably where they can understand it, where you feel confident working through it and really, benefiting both you and the client in the best way that we can. And we do that through 3 ways here. So first and foremost is through training on webinars like this that'll go into there's some coaching opportunities. We do some events as well as some marketing resources, some handouts and brochures, some supporting materials, books, and presentations, as well as the reporting, the software, the actual taking that illustration, condensing it down in a compliant, approved way to deliver it comfortably to the client. And so I'll break through each of these and go into detail about what we do with each one. Now, we really tell this IUL sales story and this tax-free sales story through a couple different lenses here. We have a couple marketing programs built out around each one. So if your client base is primarily clients that are actively saving, our New Rules of Retirement Savings program is perfect for that. What this program does is it's called the New Rules of Retirement Savings because it states that the old rules say that you need to save for retirement in a tax-deferred account and that those rules are outdated. And the new rules say that a portion of your retirement portfolio needs to be tax-free and needs to address tax risk. So this story that we tell and the materials we have to support this really talks and positions IUL as a 401k or IRA alternative option. So for clients that are actively saving or that are still in their prime working years and prime earning years, this is a perfect fit for them. Now, if you primarily work with older clients, more so clients that are pre-retirees or early retirees, we have a couple different programs that fit that bill as well. These are good for clients that have existing assets, and it's more so a reallocation of assets story. And so the first one is our no compromise retirement plan. And what this one does is this really looks at clients who have saved for retirement primarily in a tax deferred vehicle. And this positions really recommends paying a portion of your taxes now, converting the funds and using the net amount to fund an IUL policy. So this is an IRA to IUL conversion story and how to do it and deliver in a comfortable approach for the client. Now, our newest marketing program that we rolled out is called our New Holistic Retirement. This program we've actually had out less than a year. We rolled it out last summer. And this is great for clients or for advisors really that maybe you're a big annuity shop, or maybe you do some assets under management, and maybe you have a good existing book, but you want to introduce IUL to them. What this book does is it's more so product neutral, and so it really talks about what we consider to be a holistic portfolio. And so it talks about how in retirement you need to address against market risk, and that's typically done through assets under management. It talks about how you need to address against income risk and how that's typically done through annuities, but it primarily focuses on tax risk and how tax risk is the most commonly forgotten risk in traditional retirement planning. And we recommend that IUL is the solution to that. And so this book is great if you're looking to kind of go back to an existing client, maybe someone you sold annuities to in the past, and think, hey, this is a new strategy that I think, a new risk that you need to address in retirement, and really talk to them about how they can do it. So those are our three programs. So now let's take a look at the training that we offer here at Stonewood and how we support advisors through this implementation. So first and foremost, as of Stonewood, we host a conference called Innovate IUL. We host this in our hometown of Louisville, Kentucky. That we host this quarterly. Anyone who's a Stonewood Premium member is invited to this event, as well as if you have interest in coming, reach out to Levinson. They can get you access to this event as well. And this is a 2-day training where we walk through really all things IUL, from the sales process with clients, prospecting and marketing, really the messaging and approach to take, how to do it compliantly, as well as some different success stories, ways that other people are using this to be successful. So we see advisors walk away from this feeling very comfortable, very confident using this and taking and implementing these strategies into their practice. Now, continued training and coaching, as well as anyone who works with Stonewood, you go through an onboarding and one-on-one coaching with myself or another member of our coaching team. So I mentioned I'm in charge of our member success. And so really what I do is working with advisors across the country as when they start working with Stonewood, maybe making them feel confident implementing this into their practice. But as they grow and as they start to work through cases and they start to have different things in mind, really taking and helping them grow their business through these materials, right? Whether it be through some different marketing avenues, whether it be working on a specific case and putting reports together and making sure they feel comfortable talking to their clients about it. We also have an online training course that we call IUL Masters on Demand. This is on our Stonewood Online Academy that goes through the details, really making someone kind of feel dangerous and confident enough to present a lot of these materials. And then we do a monthly study group on a variety of topics, on different things that are happening in the industry, different things that are impacting our advisors' businesses and how we can navigate them, different marketing strategies, things like that. So now let's dive in a little bit here into our marketing materials and what we do. So something new here that I want to highlight, that this is a little bit of a sneak preview, something that we have not gone live with here at Stonewood. One of our most popular pieces and kind of really of the approach that we take with IUL is positioning, the tax-free story in retirement. Well, we have we have come up with a consumer-facing calculator that we're called RTB, short for Retirement Tax Bill Lead Generator. This is a consumer-facing calculator that is custom branded to the advisor with your logo on it, your phone number. And what it does, it takes your client to a landing page, allows them to calculate their potential taxes that they could pay in retirement. And so it shows them, okay, if this is how much you would pay in your current scenario, versus it gives them a number of how much they could potentially pay in taxes through some reallocation. And so what this does is this is a great tool for lead generation, for list building, or if you have an active list that you're working, to kind of nurture that list and really go back to that list that you're working with and try to get those people to book appointments by showing them why they might need to address this tax risk in retirement and how you can help them address that. So this is something new we're rolling out. We're actually releasing this in April, so we'll share out some more information on that. The Levinson team will have that and can get you information on that as well as that comes out. Some other marketing pieces we have, so prospecting materials, ways that you can go out and deliver some of these concepts to clients are if you host events, maybe educational workshops or dinner seminars. We have fully scripted PowerPoint presentations on each of those marketing programs. So depending on the market base you're working towards, whether it be the active saver, the younger professional, the client with existing assets, we have presentations to help deliver these concepts to them. We have a book program as well that around each of these books are customizable, where you can have your name on the cover of the book, you author a pre-written compliant approved forward, your photo and bio is on the back of the book, and then the contact information throughout the book points to you. So this kind of helps and establishes you as the thought leader on these. If this is a concept, right, you've partnered with a group on this concept, it's a strategy you're implementing in your practice, kind of gives you a little credibility towards it. We also have some social media content, some posts that can be social media posts, graphics that can take talking about rising tax risk, legislative risk, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. Really compromises clients making retirement things to address it, as well as some turnkey programs as well. And then once we get into the client meeting resources, once you actually go out and can find clients that fit this bill, some resources to help deliver this, some compliant approved client brochures, white papers, different handouts and worksheets really to help deliver this concept and make you feel comfortable, make them feel supported throughout. And so then I'm going to cover here next our reporting, and really want to walk through an example client of how we would kind of set this up and position it with them. And so we're going to look here. I have this sample here, Jim. Jim is 60 years old. Jim has $1.5 million in an IRA, and he's currently sitting at a 25% tax liability. And so what we're going to do here for Jim is we're going to help him understand whether it makes sense to keep all this money in his IRA or to take a portion of this and convert it into an IUL. And so we're going to do this through looking at taxes, looking at income, and looking at really how this would play out in his scenario through some Stonewood reports. So these are the assumptions we'll use here. His $1.5 million, 25% tax liability. We're going to show him currently sitting in his IRA growing at 6% in equities, 2.5% fixed income, and he's at a balanced portfolio. We're showing a legislative change in taxes, so taxes just growing over time is what we're going to work off of. And so the first thing that we would do for Jim here is we would run our total tax burden report. And so on this, we're showing Jim on his $500,000 that we're going to recommend converting. And this is what goes back to that retirement tax bill calculator I was talking about as well. On the left side, you'll see there, if he keeps his money in his qualified account, this shows you take your RMDs at age 72. On those RMDs, on his $500,000, he's going to pay about $210,000 in taxes. Now, if Jim didn't want to take those RMDs, he wanted them to still grow, he'd have to reinvest them in some kind of taxable account. If he did that, he's going to pay an approximately $66,000 more in taxes. And then taxes paid on this remaining account value at death is going to be about $143,000. So on his $500,000, he has a potential tax bill of $419,000. Now, if he were to take these and convert them to Roth or tax-free IUL, like we might suggest, he's going to pay about $125,000 on conversion, but $0 on the growth and $0 at death. So we start with this report here really to help, emphasize why he should consider tax-free as part of his retirement portfolio, right? What we're saying to Jim is this $125,000, this is a mandatory tax bill. This is saying, this is what we know what taxes are today. We can't avoid this number. But the difference between these two numbers here, this nearly $300,000 difference, those are optional taxes that Jim doesn't have to pay. And through some reallocation of assets, through working with you as an advisor, you can help Jim address this tax bill, right? So we start with this tax story. We help Jim understand. He looks at this and says, I don't want to pay $300,000 in optional taxes. What do you recommend we do, right? So this is where we would introduce IUL and go, and we maybe get an illustration prepared. And then we have some other reports we can get into that are going to compare the income or whatever circumstance he would need from it. So now we'll go in and we'll show Jim, okay, hey, if you put this money into an IUL instead of your qualified account, let's look at how this would perform. Let's look at the income you could take. We've already talked a little bit about the taxes and see one versus the other. So if he takes his $500,000 and keeps it where it is, that is going to grow to about $672,000 in his qualified account at age 70. And from that money, he's going to be able to take out potential annual income of $33,000 a year. But in his qualified account, he's got to pay taxes on that money. So that's actually going to be about $22,000 in spendable income for total income through age 100 of $651,000. This is saying, hey, Jim, you keep your money where it is, you don't change a thing. This is what you're currently looking at, right? Now let's compare it to a Roth. Let's see, right? If, okay, we're talking taxes here. What if Jim says, let's just do a Roth conversion? How's that going to perform? Well, at the same comparison, if it's at 375, puts it in a Roth, it's now going to grow to 500,000, but he's going to take out 25 grand and more income a year, total income of 730,000. So we've helped him here, right? We're generating a little more income, about $80,000 more in retirement. But let's take a look at how the IUL would perform. So based on a sample illustration we ran here, if you were to take that $375,000 and you put it into an IUL policy, I think this one was a 5-pay, I believe. He's going to be able to take out annual income tax-free of $34,000 a year, with total after-tax income, including that death benefit, being paid out at 100 of $1.2 million, right? So we start with talking to him about how we're going to address his taxes, and then we're also solving this income problem for him in retirement, right? How much more money he can have compared to an IRA or a Roth, as well as the death benefit that he gets from it. And so this is an example here of what these reports would look like. They're compliant approved as well, like we said. So you could take this and actually deliver in a really simple view, comparing here how much you're going to get in one account versus the other, and helping them understand why this strategy might work for them. Now, also, we have some reports that go into overcoming objections, right? So that's what Jim says, that sounds great, but something common that I hear about life insurance is, isn't life insurance expensive, right? I'm sure that's a common objection you receive if you sell a lot of life insurance. So we have a cost analysis report as well that goes into and takes the average expenses of a policy, and it calculates the impact that those expenses have on the cash value rate of return. So it helps deliver this simple one-page presentation. And if you ask a carrier for an expense sheet or something like that, they'll give you all this. But what happens? They give you this big sheet that goes into all these different percentages. But we deliver this one page here that shows on a one percentage of the expenses the client's going to pay in this account, and how it actually impacts their cash value rate of return. And so in this example, 1.3%, right? We're not running that, they're running from the fact there are expenses in it, but what we're trying to show here is that if you let this policy work through its intended use, like we're gonna structure it, 1.3% is competitive against any financial vehicle out there, right? And no one's managing funds for free. Anything you're paying 1.5%. So that's kind of how we have some reports to go through each level of the process with the client, how we kind of set up the discussion through talking taxes, how we solve that problem, their tax problem with IUL, and then overcoming of any objections that might arise with some supporting materials as well. So some of the software and reports we have, I showed our total tax burden analysis report, the one that shows taxes paid if they keep their money where it is versus on conversion. We have some tax and income analysis reports, right? The ones I was just showing. We're able to show IUL and compare it to wherever kind of tax status vehicle they're in now, whether it be tax deferred, taxable, or Roth. We also have that cost analysis report We get reports into legacy planning as well, right? If we're not looking from income perspective, how much more so cash value accumulation, death benefit, how much money they can leave behind, as well as a simplify the illustration report. So just one that takes that 20, 30, 40 page carrier illustration and condenses it down in a couple easy to read pages for the client. Really the goal of all of our reports, like I said at the beginning, is to take what can be a complex topic and deliver it to a client in a simple, meaningful way that they feel comfortable understanding and you feel confident delivering. So I want to change gears here a little bit. As I walk through our training and our marketing and reports, I want to talk about a new concept that we've rolled out here at Stonewood, that a new message that we're kind of pushing advisors to kind of talk through with their clients that are helping with IUL sales, called legislative risk. And so in the month of March, we deemed March here internally Legislative Risk Awareness Month. We were trying to raise awareness on legislative risk for our advisors and how it's impacting all of their clients. And so what happened is in September, maybe October, there was a congressional spending bill that was proposed that introduced some heightened legislative risk for retirement accounts. And some of these proposals, what we've looked at here is we saw that these retirement accounts, like qualified accounts and Roth, were under attack. And some of these proposals that were introduced was a new RMD for total retirement assets over $10 million. They were proposing limitations on contributions for retirement accounts. And then there were also proposals towards limitations on Roth conversions. And there was a lot of other things in it, but our team here, our CEO, Becky Swansburg, she has a background in tax policy and politics, and she kind of took a deep dive into what was proposed and came away rather alarmed. And we've presented a lot of concept into why this might be, but really what we've learned is we used to think that tax risk, we would lump legislative risk in under tax risk. We would say that, Congress changing the rules, if you mitigate against tax risk, you're likely okay. What we found with this was that this didn't just focus on qualified accounts. Roth accounts were very much involved in these proposals, what was presented here, right? If you were in a Roth and they were in the line of fire, they were talked about, contribution limits and RMDs over certain assets that even Roth accounts couldn't mitigate against. Now, if you kept up with some of the stuff that was proposed, you might have found out as stuff got passed on through, some of those things got sorted out. They got pushed out of the bill, people said no. And that's great. And maybe you or your clients are looking at that saying, well, we dodged a bullet there, right? Well, one thing that we want to do as advisors is we don't want our clients dodging bullets in retirement. And we don't want you to have to help our clients be working through the matrix in retirement, right? We want to take our clients out of the line of fire. And we believe that IUL is a vehicle that does that. And now looking at some of those proposals, one thing that Becky always says is, it is a lot harder to get the bill passed, but once the bill is passed, it's a lot easier to change it. And so some people might look at that and say, well, look, that says $10 million, right? How many of our clients currently have 10 million? Well, 10 million is a starting point. Once it's 10 million, what if they're not getting the revenue they need from it? And then it becomes 8 million, and then 5 million, and then 3 million. And now majority of our clients are being impacted by these changes, right? We believe that IUL mitigates against legislative risk because legislative risk was attacking accounts and IUL is a contract. And so we look at previous history of any time that they've made changes to, if they ever tried to make changes to the taxation of life insurance, which we have a lot of reason to believe they won't, but any time in the past in history, whenever they've done anything like that, people that have had that contract prior to that agreement have been grandfathered in. So if you sell your client a life insurance policy, an IUL policy, and they were to ever change the taxation of life insurance and your client was grandfathered in, you have sold your client the single most valuable financial vehicle that they can have out there that wouldn't even be available anymore. And now we have a lot of reason to believe that wouldn't happen, but that is why we say that IUL mitigates against legislative risk, because IUL is a contract, whereas not an account. So some powerful stuff, some messaging that's been taken, and a lot of our advisors are taking and delivering to clients and changing their kind of story, and it's really resonating really well. So I want to show an example of a client that came to one of our events, heard this language, or excuse me, an advisor came to one of our events, heard this language, and delivered it to a client and talked about showed about how it actually changed the results. So this is we at the end of our events, we hand out a little survey, and this guy made a nice comment on it. And he said, this process has allowed us to write, submit, and pay for nearly $350,000 of target premium. And he didn't stop there. He got this review. He took this back, delivered it to a client, and he sold this client a case. And the client gave him this feedback. He said, the distinguishing characteristic and the reason I chose you is your ability to simply articulate the tax savings available to me. It is a no-brainer to move money from the tax world to the tax-free world. And so this guy sold an FIA, an IUL. He's going to get $90,000 in commission from that. This guy also manages assets. He's bringing on $1.3 million in assets under management from it. So really, really powerful material here, right? How he took this and delivered, and how it these numbers here, these are real numbers from an advisor, and these are business changing numbers, right? These are making you have your best year ever by taking and delivering this simple tax story to them in a really confident, comfortable way. So next, I want to share a little bit about another advisor that we've worked with, came to work with in Stonewood in 2018. This guy was already a big advisor. He did a big annuity shop, did some AUM. He did 14 million in annuities, 36 million in AUM, and had a target premium, IUL target premium of $20,000. I think he did one case in 2018. It was a case I think he did for a buddy. Now he came to one of our events, started using Stonewood materials. Well, in 2019, he saw IUL target premium jump from 20,000 to 825,000. His average IUL case size was 58,000, and 58,000 target premium was his average case size, and 2/3 of that target came from existing annuity clients. So what he did is he took these strategies and he went back to his existing book of business and started talking to them about tax risk and legislative risk and why these were topics they needed to address. And also 1/3 of that target came from new clients. And so with this, we've just seen so many examples like this. This obviously is a large advisor that's doing a lot of business, but one call out with it too is he didn't see annuity sales drop either, right? This doesn't mitigate against other vehicles. He saw annuity sales jump 2 million. He saw AUM jump 16 million. 2020, he had significant years of growth, and we need to go back to him and see how he did in 2021, because I assume he had another great year as well. So we see advisors come talk to us, come to our event, work with us, and see results like this all the time. So that's a little bit about kind of what we do, how we take this approach, really recommending focusing on taxes if you're through training, marketing, and reports. And so if you have interest and want to learn more, reach out to Bill, reach out to your marketer at Levinson. They have access to all of our materials. They can show you some of these reports and samples, talk to you about different ways you can work with Stonewood and how through working with them, there's discounted pricing. There's so much benefit because of our partnership that we have with them. Bill, Andrew, any questions, any thoughts, anything else you want me to cover?
Yeah, that was great, Alec. We do have a couple minutes for questions. Andrew, anything come in that we need Alec for? Well, everyone's on the line.
Just checking here. I have a question from Robert. He's asking about what assumptions are being used. I know your program generally takes assumptions based on tax bracket, correct? Like based on that person's age and income.
Yeah, so I'll go back and let me go share my screen again. I think I would guess on the one report where we got our numbers here, the assumptions we used to look at some of these were we assumed a growth rate of 4.25%. That was, I think I had an assumption slide. All of our assumptions these are the assumptions we used. All of these are inputs on the software. So we built these in for the sample, but whatever you're working with your client on, if your client has a specific, effective tax rate and growth assumptions in their account, you can run our reports based on the specifics for that client. And so that it'll show you the actual based on their account. Good question.
Okay, great. Any others, Andrew, while we have Alec on?
I think that is the only question not answered. We're getting more questions about the cost of the program, which we went over. So
yeah, I'm also going to touch on that at the. I'm going to touch on that at the end. So that's fine. Okay, so Alec, we're going to move forward. We really appreciate your time. And any other questions that come in that we cannot answer, obviously we can circle back with Alec and his team. So that's no problem at all. And then once again, that IUL prospecting book that Stonewood has is amazing. I think you have 2 versions now. Is that right, Alec? 2 or 3?
There was 3, yes, 3 versions. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, we have 2 here. So we have you covered, and then we'll order the 3rd. Okay,
Yeah.
good stuff.
All right, guys, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much for having me.
Yep, of course. We appreciate your time, buddy. Okay, let's we have a few more slides here, and then we're going to have our giveaway. We have about 5 minutes left. So you're probably thinking to yourself, how do I get started, right? And again, it doesn't matter what level you're on when it comes to IUL sales. This will help you. And again, look at that bottom right corner, 0 upfront cost. That's important, okay? Because I don't want you to feel like we come on here for an hour trying to sell you something. And no, that's not what it's about. It's about helping our agents, right, make these more sophisticated sales, because that's where the larger target premium cases are. So again, you have a guy, you have a girl, just call any one of our marketers. We can run a no charge sample presentation illustration for you. Okay, if you want to just sample it out, try it out, see if it works for you, no problem. Okay, and then if you say to yourself, well, I really want to be a member, I want to do the personal coaching and the live event training, no problem. If you want to write this down, so Levinson agents get 20 to 25% off the retail price. So if you just found them off the street, you came across Stonewood, you're going to pay about 25% higher prices than what Levinson has to offer. So jot this down. If you want the select program, $79 a month is our price, $300 down. The premium is $2,100 a year. Okay, so it's a one and done deal, $2,100 a year. Okay, now again, if you want to call our office, we'll run the free presentation or illustration for you. Okay, or if you want to be a member in the program and you don't want to pay anything, no problem. Write at least $2,000 minimum annual premium per month, and we reimburse you for the program, so it winds up costing you $0. Okay, plus you saw a list of our carriers, okay, earlier. If you're already with one of those carriers or 5 of those carriers with another IMO, we match or most of the time beat your commissions, okay? And you get cash or free leads with your first paid application, okay? So we're going to include all of that in the thank you email. Plus, on top of that, if you write that minimum premium number, we'll pay for this program as well. So you will be a full member with Stonewood at no charge. So again, win-win-win across the board. Okay, how to get started? We literally have an IUL Experience microsite where everything IUL related is hosted, and it's free. You can go through our website once you're in, and everything is there at your fingertips. Let's keep moving forward. So I want to talk about some new features on our iPipeline quoting engine. This is on our website. So we are a pilot agency. Check this out. This to me is unbelievable. So when you go in to run, let's say, a term quote, okay, you know how simple that is. I'm sure you're in here all the time sending these to clients. Great. So all you do when you open the product type, you'll see it'll say indexed UL, and you're going to, and this literally takes seconds. All you're going to do is click where the red box is, put in the same demographics, just like as if you're running a 20-year term quote, and you can now run a full indexed universal life illustration. So this information populates into the company software, and then you have a fully compliant IUL illustration to show your consumer, have them sign the full illustration, submit with the application or IGO or drop ticket, and you're done. Okay, so it's no more Xing out, logging back into the carrier website. Everything is 1, 2, 3. We're the first IMO to feature the new plugin. So I think you're going to love it. If you have any more questions, you let any one of our marketers know, and we will get you up and running. Okay, a couple more things I want to mention that I think you will love. And again, it is all about helping you plant the seed and share the IUL story with your consumers and new prospects. Okay, top left-hand corner, those were the books that we just mentioned with Alec. Okay, we have a few incentives where you can get those for free, plus the winner of today's question of the day will get a copy, okay, and the Fire 8 tablet. Okay, bottom left corner, that's a brand new mailer we just rolled out a few weeks ago. Now, that mailer lead program is built to tee up the IUL or FIA, okay, indexed annuity sale. So again, it's how you pivot, but these consumers are perfect to talk IUL or annuities and look at the average return rate at 1.5 to 2.25%, depending on your location. And I'm telling you right now, you're better off having a few non-resident states. Okay, so you can pick the state where you're going to get the best return, and our lead vendor will tell you exactly where you're better off focusing on, what demographics, what zip code or area code. Let's move forward. Top right corner, Iul Lead Program. This is another mailer program that is focused on mortgage protection, which again, you talk about mortgage protection term, yes, great door opener, easy sale, but it's how you pivot, right? It never hurts to bring up a permanent product that builds up cash, especially for retirement, okay? So again, it's pivoting, it's knowing enough to be dangerous. Let's move to the bottom section. These are live transfer leads where literally you set up your dialer or your computer where you say, hey, Monday through Friday, I'm working 11 to 3, and the live transfer leads come in at the times you're open. So that's another great program as well that has a 20% guarantee. So again, no brainer. Let's move forward. Premium finance, okay, another hot concept when it comes to IUL. So I'm not going to dive into all the details right now, okay, but again, if you have a guy, you have a girl, we have two different vendors, okay, depending on that particular client situation and what their income is, what their total assets are, but these two vendors, in my opinion, and the proof in the pudding is the cases that we're seeing come out of the other side, there's nothing better, okay? So if you have a case, let us know, and we will get you up and running on the premium finance end. Next up is Reid, okay? When you talk about tax-saving strategies, okay, when you talk about, I know someone, but I don't know how to get into all the details, and I don't want to say anything wrong and potentially be sued over this, Mary will do all the selling for you, okay? That's the hook. And again, she's our keynote at the Levinson Expo on Friday, okay? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Icing on the cake, whoever wins today, I'm throwing in her book as well, Distribution Solution, bestseller by Reid. So you're going to love this. And these are books, again, you hand out to prospects, okay, at the tea party or the soccer game or the basketball game from Little Shelley, right? You meet someone, hand them the book, tease up the appointment and the sale for you. By the time your client's done reading it, they're ready to talk IUL their whole life, okay? I'm telling you, no brainer here, folks. Let's move forward. The podcast, awesome. Why? Because Jason Solatkin is an animal when it comes to IUL sales. Okay, this guy, certified financial planner, went from being a professional sportscaster. Okay, he also hosted the Olympic Games and Miami Hurricanes. So he was a true professional in his space, transitioned over to the life insurance space. Now he's one of our top GAs, and he's an amazing guy. We're the same age. I met him when I was like 14 years old at a life insurance convention. Really cool story. Talks about being prepared. He shares a bunch of tips and tricks for being a successful insurance agent in today's time. Great story. So in fact, we'll include this in the thank you email. He's also going to be at the expo next Friday if you want to shake his hand and thank him for the 1-hour interview on the Bill Levinson Experience. Future trainings. By the way, one more slide and we're done. I know we're running a minute late here. We are skipping next week due to the expo. We have to prepare and be ready for almost 300 agents in attendance. But every day, okay, we have our agency automator training. If you want to learn how to do these e-blasts or set up your website or best practices for marketing, every single day, including next week, we host these live webinars with Kevin, our programmer, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And the following week, we will be back with our live weekly training webinar series. Okay, last slide here in our question of the day. Make sure your little fingers are on your keyboard and you're ready to go. But first, I'm going to mention this Positive Tuesday quote. Talk about getting your name out there, branding, right, on all social media platforms. This is the way I've done it, and this is the way you need to do it. I'm not in the retail space, so remember that, okay? It's always saying you don't listen to what I say, but watch what we do. It's all consistency and persistency, okay? And proof in the pudding, look at our weekly webinars, okay? Did you ever see us skip a week except for an expo week? Never. Did you ever see a Positive Tuesday quote not posted on Tuesday? Never. Okay? You should be doing the same thing when it comes to marketing and branding. This is Tuesday's quote. Big dreams and goals never work unless you do. Simple and straight to the point. There's no shortcut, folks. You got to put in the sweat. You got to put your right foot down on the gas pedal and make it happen. Okay? Write down your plan. I feel like if you don't write it down, it never happens. So write it down in front of you so it's in your face daily and make it happen. Listen to the podcasts. I think there's some great inspiration there, great nuggets, great ways to learn, innovate, and pivot, especially during a pandemic. Hopefully we're at the end here, or we're nearing the end, but you need to stay focused and make it happen. Question of the day. Okay, I know your fingers are on the keyboard. You're ready to go. You got to be quick. We got hundreds of agents on. You got to be number one. Okay? Question. And we showed this on the third or fourth slide. How many Iul carriers does Levinson and Associates offer to our agents on a direct contract? How many Iul carriers do we offer to our agents? We showed it on the previous slide. Tell me the magic number. How many Iul carriers do we offer as a direct contract to our agents? Tell me the magic number, and you win Fire Tablet, and I'm throwing in 2 prospecting books. Andrew, do we have a winner?
Sorry, I just had a lot of requests come in at the same time, Bill. We have Lloyd G. Lloyd G is the first.
Lloyd G., the answer was 23 direct Iul carrier contracts, 23. With that said, let's have a great rest of the week, a great weekend, okay? And hopefully we'll see you at the expo April 8th. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to sell you anything here because it's free, okay? But it will be well worth every minute spent next Friday. And if you're there, come see me face to face, shake my hand. I'd love to meet you in person to celebrate our 50th anniversary here at Levinson and Associates. Take care, and thanks again, everyone.